Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining the Leader Spotlight of Women in Leadership, which will be our last session for this program. So, the Women in Leadership program aims to build up the capacity of potential women leaders by equipping our students with the knowledge and skills of successful women leaders. So, for our Leader Spotlight today, we are having a special guest that will be interviewed by our future leaders. So, just a little housekeeping before I introduce them. If you have any question during the interview session, please type them in the comment section below. And as mentioned before, we will be having an exciting overall grand competition. Participants will stand a chance to win a smartwatch if they join all four events of Women in Leadership program and submit the best video of what they have learned from these programs. So there are three smartwatches to be won, and I will share how to win at the end of this session. Okay, so let me introduce our student interviewers. First, we have Tanusri, anak perempuan Sutakar from St. George's Girls' Schools. Second, we have Rania Azahara binti Muhammad Ismail, also from St. George's Girls' School. And last but not least, we have Ling Vi Yen from Penang Chinese Girls' High School. So they will be interviewing our leader for today. And as for our leader, we are excited to have Ms Goh Jin See, the Business Solution Management Manager of Keysight General Electronics Measurement Solution, GEMS, with us today. A little introduction about Ms Jin See. She is responsible for the go-to-market strategies, solution positioning, and management. In her 20 years with Keysight, she has held various key global positions in material engineering, outsourcing, supplier management, and mergers and acquisitions. So now, without further ado, I will let our future leaders take charge of this virtual stage. All right, Tanu, over to you.
All right, thank you very much. So, the first question that we have is, do you have a role model or a corporate leader whom you constantly look up to in order to be a successful leader?
Okay, thanks, Tanu. Sorry for my voice. I just recovered from COVID, so I do apologize if I sound a little bit rough. All right, good afternoon, everyone. So, to your question on a role model or a corporate leader, I would not need to look very far within in this role. In Keysight Penang itself, where I'm from, we have excellent role models. I will name you not one, but three role models that I have within Keysight. So in Keysight, we have three ladies that are from STEM background who are currently VPs or senior VP and even the president of a group. One, I have Yi Hui Sin. She's the president and senior VP of the EISG group. You know, that is one third of what Keysight is running. So she's a VP of that and the president, and she's also from engineering background. We have Dato Shida Ahmad. She's our general manager of Keysight Penang. She's also the VP of Worldwide Order Fulfillment, and she's also from STEM background. And thirdly, we have Angela Cheong. She's our VP of HR. She too was from engineering background. And they really do, show us and lead us as women within Keysight and even outside of Keysight of how far women can go, from those that studied engineering or mathematics or computer science, for all that studied STEM, they have a broad future within them. Now, these women, they started their jobs as engineers many, many years back when there were not many women in engineering. But they did not let gender hinder them nor stop them. They worked very hard. They took on many challenges. They inspired many men and women around the globe where Keysight is. And they also inspired us women to do better for ourselves. So they were very real, they were really down to earth, and they were very approachable. So they are role models and mentors not only to me, but to the many women in Keysight.
All right, thank you so much for that nice explanation.
Yes, Ms Jin See, can you tell us more about your current role and what you do at your job?
Okay, so I think you heard the introduction. It sounded very long, yeah. My department as well as my position. So I'll try to maybe explain a bit more of what I do. So I manage a team of solutions managers and also managers that manage our business partners. And what my team does is that we are responsible for launching the solution and the go-to-market strategy, which is like bringing our solution to the market. and what we do is that we start by developing strategies for the business that we want to grow. From the strategy, we sort of work with R&D to design what kind of solutions that we need and how do we address the market need. From there, we look at the solutions and the market, and we work at what kind of configuration we want to sell, how we want to price it, how we want to sell it, and then we set all that up. Now, after that, we work on marketing and launching activities for our solutions, which includes, preparing the data sheets, application notes, brochure, webinar, trainings, and we do all that through cross-functional cooperation with our strategic partners, our R&D teams, our order fulfillment, marketing, sales, and also our support team. So that's what my team does.
Okay, thank you. Over to Rania.
Hi, Ms. Jin See. What
Hi.
are the areas or skills that we, as young leaders, should focus on to continue to be leaders in the future?
Okay, sorry, I think you were a bit intermittent, but I think you mentioned something about what areas and skills that young leaders are looking for in order to be leaders in the future. Is that correct? Okay, so I think that's yes. So to answer your questions on what are the areas and skills as young leaders as yourself, how do you what should you focus on to become leaders in the future? First of all, the three things that I would say is nimble learning. Nimble learning means you must be able to learn and continue to learn. You do not stop learning after school. You do not stop learning after university. You do not stop learning after you continue working. Sorry, after you started working. Nimble learning means you continue to grow and adapt to learn new things as things change in the world. As you see the world today, the world is changing, technology is changing, and we have to continuously learn and grow in order to stay ahead. So to be a future leader, you have to have nimble learning. Secondly, you need to be resourceful. You need to know how to network, to in order to grow and influence a bigger group of people, you need to be able to do that. And thirdly, you need to be adventurous. You need to take risks. You need to be willing to try something new and look at what future opportunities out there. So these are the three skills that you need to be, to continue to be future leaders.
That's a wonderful sharing from Ms. Jin See.
Thank
So
you.
back to Tanya.
So, upon your graduation in 1999, you have worked in two multinational companies before joining Keysight Technologies. How has those past experiences helped you in advancing your career?
Oh, wow, that sounds so long ago, yeah, 19 something, yeah. Okay, so when I first started working, I worked as an industrial engineer and then a senior process and DFM engineer. I also joined Keysight after that as an engineer too, before I moved into more business and as well as management roles. I would say the first 5 years of my career gave me an exposure to what's going on not only in my company and in industry. It helped me understand my job. It helped me understand all the other functions in the company. It also helped me understand the ecosystem where my company worked, who are my suppliers, my customers. So the first 5 years really opened my eyes to what working was really like. When we were studying, we were focused on all the subjects. We may have internship that we see some of the companies, but when we really work in the first few years and go in depth into the job, we really do see the different facets of a job. And it also showed me the opportunities that I have as a woman engineer. What are the areas I could succeed in? What are the areas I could try? So the first few years were very important in opening my eyes and showing me, that there was actually no limit for me as a woman engineer. Thank you.
Yes, yes. Thank you very much for the great explanation. Pass to you, Vian.
Based on your previous experience or current experience in general, what are
Mhm.
some of the challenges faced by women in the workplace today? And what challenges have you faced personally in your job?
Job challenges. Okay, to me, firstly, maybe because I'm lucky, but I don't think it's just that I'm the only one who's lucky, but I would feel that job challenges are actually common to men and women. I did not really feel that even when I started working as a new engineer back in the 1990s, I didn't really feel that I was different because I was a woman. Definitely. Maybe because I was too excited to learn. Yeah. So I don't really see a much difference in terms of challenges between men and women. But for women, but from a woman perspective, since I'm a woman, you go through different phases of your life. First you are a student, you're learning, then you're studying, then you start working as a fresh new graduate. Then you probably get married, become a mother, and have kids. And then as your kids get older, you also have your kids going off to school, and you also probably have aging parents that you have to take care of. In life, we have a whole cycle, a cycle of life, and in different areas of that phase of that you're in, you probably face different challenges, I would say. So personally, for me, from where I stand today, I don't know what challenges are ahead of me yet, but from where I stand today, probably the most challenging time for me was when my kids were going to school, right? Because I was busy with work. I was a manager then. I have to manage a large team, and my kids had homework. They have exams coming and things like that. So at that time, that was quite challenging for me to balance both my work as well as my the home life. So what I did then was that in order to face that, I really separated um, what I separate work from my personal life. When I was at work, I focus on my work. I don't really take calls or whatever. When I'm at home, I put my work aside and I focus on my children. And what also helped me was the support I got, support from friends, support from my parents, support from my spouse. So people who helped me out to make sure that I was able to juggle all of it. And so that was a challenge I had, was probably when I had kids. Um, yeah, so far that is the most challenging to date. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Over to Rania.
Following that, Ms Jin See, what factors contributed to your career role change from engineering to management?
Mhm. From engineering to management. Um, I guess partly one of the things from being an engineer to a manager, sometimes it's a natural progression as you grow more senior in your job role, and then you start having people that you guide, and to a certain point, there will be a position that at the management level, and you would apply for it, right? So for me, it was my passion really. I really enjoyed being an engineer. I really enjoyed the discovery, the issues that I face, the challenges, working with the team to figure out what's wrong, running evaluations and everything. I really enjoyed doing that. And and as I got more experience and senior in it, I was thinking, if I can do that, with a bigger group of people that I manage, we can even do more, right? So definitely I was passionate about what I was in, and I was also passionate in watching other people succeed, in helping and guiding the more junior engineers and seeing them succeed as well. I was happy for them that we as a group managed to accomplish so much. So really, it was my passion. I was very passionate about that, and also it was an opportunity. There was an opening for management role, and I applied for it. And also, the third point is being ready. Changing from a individual contributor as an engineer to managing people require different skill sets, right? And being ready for it, preparing for it, that also helped me in my decision to move into a manager. Yeah.
Thank you for the explanation, Ms Jin See, and Anu, you can continue.
Alright, my next question is, in your opinion, what personality traits should a woman possess to become a leader, which in a field is usually dominated by men, such as engineering? So how do you overcome it and be brave to face it?
Okay, firstly, yeah, I know engineering is we have more men in engineering than women probably, right? And firstly, I And that's probably because, men were there first. They were working in engineering way long before women started studying engineering, so therefore there were more men there. But I would think that in the field, uh, whether you're a man or a woman, there are certain leadership traits that you need to have, right? Um, some of the traits that I think are very important for leaders are: you have to be passionate about your job, you have to be engaging, you have to have good communication, because you are leading a big group of people. You're driving them towards one vision. So you have to have good communications. You have to be an accountable person. You have to have integrity, ethical, and the other point is that you have to be kind to people. So I think these are traits that any leader has, no matter whether you're a man or you're a woman. It doesn't matter that you are managing a whole group of men. When I was in engineering, we did have many men, but it made no difference that I'm a woman. Seriously, it is your capability that stands out. It doesn't matter that you're a woman or not. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you
Thank you for
so
the
much
question. Yeah,
for such a motivating answer reply for that. So pass to you,
you're
Lian.
welcome.
All right. Jobs in the STEM, like any career in STEM, are currently predominantly male centric. As a
Mm-hmm,
woman and leader, how
mm-hmm.
would you help, or how do you help fellow female coworkers who are struggling with their roles due to sexism that only, like, say, problems that only women face due to sexism?
Okay. Okay, let me see. For yeah, I think facing those struggles is actually two ways, right? Firstly, one is you yourself. In your mind, if you feel, if you already accept that you are a minority in where you are, or you are lesser because you're a woman in the field, then you are already somewhat halfway. You've lost the battle halfway, or you're sort of crippled if you think that. So really, one is really a struggle in your mind. um, don't ever think that you are lesser than another than your male colleague, because you studied the same thing as he did. For all you know, you even did better than him. So it doesn't really matter. Firstly, it's the own struggle that an individual has, right? So overcoming um overcoming your own fear that you are not good enough is the one struggle that personally a person has to sort of solve it themselves. Of course, you can encourage your colleagues or friends, and motivate them and tell them that they should not worry about that they are worthy of their job. They are not any less of an engineer than anyone else, right? And secondly, to help your fellow colleagues, if you do ever come across situations where you think that they are being marginalized, or people say something to them that is inappropriate, you should always stand up for your colleague. You should always, say something like, I don't think that's appropriate. You can just voice, I don't think that's appropriate. Let's talk about something else. I don't, and that's not the way, that we should say this. And sometimes you may want to voice it out to stop that kind of thing that's going on publicly in a big meeting or something. But sometimes you may also want to address it privately to the person, to say that, because sometimes people say things when they're not conscious of it. Maybe culturally in the past, people always say things like, oh, women should be in the kitchen, kind of thing. So sometimes people say it as a joke, and they think that it's funny. And if you don't think that it's funny, after the meeting, you can always approach the person and say that that's not a funny thing to say, and you should not say that, because that's putting down women. So the person may not have realized it, but if you say it to them, they will then think about it. Oh no, I thought it was funny, but it actually wasn't, right? So sometimes we have to sort of raise it up to the person, because people take jokes sometimes, as nothing serious, but it does have an impact on others that they do not realize. And some people are even meaner, and they don't mean it as a joke, and they say it outright. And these are the times that you have to stand up for your colleagues. Now, firstly, is always stand up for your colleagues. Build allies. Find women and men who support women, and build allies. So they will always be supportive of you. So that will help women who are facing really any sexism in the workplace. Of course, if it goes to the extreme cases of sexual harassment and that kind of thing, of course you have to report it to HR and take the appropriate action. Of course, yeah. I hope that answers the question. Yeah.
Thank you very much for your answer. Now back to Rania.
Related to the question that was asked just now, Ms. Jin See, do you
Mhm.
think women can make a difference or even make greater contributions in engineering or STEM in the future?
Mhm. Definitely. Definitely, I think women can make a difference. Um, you know, if if everyone thinks the same way, everything will move in the same direction, right? But having diverse ideas coming in will enrich the ideas that are coming out of the group. Now, if in the area where men are predominantly there, having diversity through women and giving different ideas there and into the group helps generate even more discussion, even more ideas. So definitely, women entering into engineering where in the past it was more men, will definitely help in creating more innovation, more collaboration, and the other thing about women is this: I think a lot of us who study engineering, we may sometimes come from a place where our classes have more men than women, right? And being uh, or maybe 10 or 20% women out of the men, we usually study, we are usually tougher because we have gone through, I guess, a journey where we are really the minority there, and we have come out resilient out of it. We are fearless, we learn to adapt to the situation, and we learn to be very patient. So definitely women have the skill set to really make the difference. And I think women are tougher than they really believe themselves to be. Women are really tough. They can survive anything. They can survive having kids. They can survive, working and being a mother at the same time. So definitely women will definitely contribute to STEM and engineering.
Thank you for answering my question, Ms. Jin See.
Sorry.
Back to Tan.
So you have definitely been through many obstacles in life and your whole process of working, and you have to do duties as a wife, a daughter, a mother. So with this, what are the biggest factors that help you to push yourself to be an accomplished leader that you are today, despite all of those obstacles, duty, and work you have? How did you juggle all of them at once?
Yeah, juggling is a good word, yeah. So yeah, I think we have to maintain a kind of a balance. Don't let things get out of control. But you have work, you have responsibilities to your family, you have responsibilities, even if you're not married, you have responsibilities to your parents, and things like that. So really, for me, being able to separate work and your personal life is important. And secondly, also take time for yourself to make sure that you always, sometimes you're so busy because you have so many things to do. We have ambitions, we have a lot of things we want to do for our work, we have responsibilities that we want to take care of back at home. Always take care of yourself. Always give yourself, allocate time for yourself to relax, to do whatever you like, just me time. That's very important for you to recharge, recover, and then to come back and face your life, work and life challenges fresh again. So always separate work from your personal life and always make time for yourself. That will help you gain a balance. And and in your personal time, you will also take that time to also evaluate, what are things you want to do more, what are things you want to balance. That gives you a time to really realign everything together. Yeah, that will help.
Thank you so much with your explanation. So it's true that we women are actually great multitaskers.
Of
So
course.
yeah, we should be proud of ourselves. So
Yes.
right now, pass to Vian.
So who or what really inspired you to pursue this career in the STEM category?
What inspired me? So I guess I always liked sciences, back in school. Um I remember, I always like the whole experiment, experimenting with things. Of course, I did not blow up anything in school. I don't remember I ever did, but the whole experimenting things, um, um, facing a challenge, solving a problem, and seeing the results, so that really inspired me, and I found that very challenging. So that was why I decided to go into engineering, because yeah, I was interested to see how things fit, how things work together, and from the things you input into a process, how did it all generate into something of better value at the end of the day, so I found the whole creativity, and problem solving challenge, something that I really enjoy. So that's how I ended up going into engineering in the first place, and I have no regrets.
All right, thank you so much for your answer. Now passing this on to Rania.
So, does this engineering field guarantee a good career for women out there in the future, Ms. Lindsay?
Engineering definitely is a great career. Now, you need engineers for anything. You need engineers to build, sustain, or grow the technology or infrastructure for the future. Engineering is a great career, not only for women, it's a great career for anyone, you know. And in engineering, when you go into engineering, there's actually two paths that you can go into. After you study engineering and started working as an engineer, you can consider being a technical expert in the field that you studied, to be really, I guess, the consultant or the expert there, to continue to contribute into those areas, into doing research or into future technologies. You can be a technical expert in those areas, an engineer. You can also go, the other part you can go into is that, with the engineering knowledge and experience, you can also go to a broader scope, where you can go into, other field, like, even business, sales, marketing, and everything. You can also go into those areas, and grow into different segments as well. So engineering can give you two paths: really pure technical, or even if you want to branch out into a broader scale, you can also do that with engineering. And engineering is always needed.
Thank you for the explanation, Ms. Lindsay.
You're welcome.
So, Ms. Jinsey, what advice would you like to give to girls who are looking to pursue a career in the STEM field nowadays?
I would say go for it. It's very, very interesting. You will embark in a journey that is a lifelong learning. Your studying doesn't stop in university. You will continue to learn even more things, new technologies, and new ways of doing things, and it will be very enriching for you. Don't be afraid. It is not true that man rules in engineering. There's no such thing. You know, just be open to new discoveries and to learn, and you will do very well there. Yeah, go for it.
All right, thank you very much.
Following by that, Ms. Lindsay, what are the criteria you look for when hiring an employee in your field?
Mhm. Okay, so when it comes to hiring, definitely, depending on the job, sorry, we will of course look at the qualifications, or the technical expertise to fit the job. So that's just a basic, like, for example, you want to hire engineer, of course they have to have an engineering degree, right? So that's the basic. But other than that, other soft skills that we're also looking at is that, the employee has to be, has to have a growth mindset. They have to have a mindset where they look at learning and growing as setbacks as opportunity to learn. Know that they are coachable, that they can grow, and that they are employees who take initiative and who are resourceful. Those are, to me, are the three criteria that personally I look for when I'm hiring an employee.
Thank you for the answer, Ms. Lindsay. Back to Tanu again.
So this would be the last question of
Oh.
today's interview. So the last question is, what advice you would like to give to the next generation of women leaders? Maybe they do not want to go into the STEM field, but maybe other areas. How would you like to motivate them and advise them so that they remain to be a very good woman leader, and even though there's many obstacles, duties
Mhm,
to do, they remain keeping on goal and go straight in line.
mhm. Wow, that's a big pressure of giving this advice, eh? Okay, so I guess, if you are, going into engineering, if you're not sure what you want to do, I would say that you can never go wrong with engineering. Engineering really helps you. It really it's very, to me, I find it very methodological. It gives you a very good understanding and process of how things work and how you run through processes, and in doing that, it actually helps you even with your daily life. you know the approach that you study in engineering, it actually you can use it in your daily life as well. And I think that's probably what helps me in my daily life too, right? And in engineering, similar to any other career, whether you take engineering or any other career, your life challenges, the one that I said, from a different life cycle, the life challenges that you face will always be there. No matter what career you take, you will always have different challenges in different phases of your life, and even in different positions of your job, right? So how you approach it really is up to you. How strong you are, how you want to look at things, whether you want to look at things as it's an opportunity for me to learn, to grow, or whether you look at it as, oh no, that's the end of me. All of it is really up to you. How far you will go, and how far you want to go, or how far you want to reach. If you want to do engineering and then later you want to do some double degree and study not more things and take master and everything, it's really up to you, and you really can do it. you know a lot of us can do it, but maybe we feel a bit shy, or we feel a bit unsure of ourselves. You know you you have to you have to believe that you can do it, and you have to work hard and commit yourself to do it, and I'm pretty sure that you will. So yeah, in terms of life challenges, I think all of us can overcome it. Having a good support system, having friends to help you, having a focus in your life will help you do that. But definitely engineering to me, maybe I'm biased because I'm in engineering, but engineering to me is definitely a great career. It's something that you will always learn, and there's always new things to grow and discover in engineering. Yeah, definitely.
Okay,
Thank you
thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you, Ms. Jinsei, for sharing your journey and advice as a leader with us. And thank you to our future leaders, Tanu, Rania, and Vian, for asking brilliant questions. So, Ms. Jinsei, do you have any last word for our future leaders who are with us today in the studio and also who are watching us virtually?
Okay, to all the future leaders out there, you really can do it. You can really go far. Um, always believe in yourself. That's what I always say. Always believe yourself. Don't ever think that you have a limitation because you're a woman. When I went to study, of course, during my time, there was not many women there, but we didn't care. We were just curious to learn. Be curious to learn. Don't let other not important things hinder you. You can go very far, and I'm sure many of you here will go very fast soon. When I'm old and grey, I'll probably see you guys as future leaders. And when I'm in my rocking chair in my retirement home, I'm sure you will all do very well. Just be confident, focus on being the best in everything that you do, and you will definitely succeed. And never ever take disappointments as a way to give up. Any challenge you face, any failure that you face, everything is an opportunity to learn something. That's the growth mindset. Keep that in mind, and that will definitely help you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Ms. Jinsei, for such a great advice. We believe not just our future women leaders, but all our viewers will greatly benefit from the sharing. Okay, so before we end our session, okay, we would like to share with you the details on how to be the winners of our grand competition. Okay, so step one, record maximum of 10 minutes of video on your takeaways from the whole program. So for this Women in Leadership program, we have two talks, one workshop, and for today we have one leader spotlight. Step two, upload your video at bit.ly /WIL_submission by 26 October 2022. To increase your chances of winning, you may post your video on social media with hashtag PSC Women Leaders and hashtag ATC Penang. So make sure your account is public so that we can see your video. Submit your video by 26 October and stay tuned for the winner announcement on Penang Science Cluster social media. Okay, so don't worry, we will be sharing all the details on our social media and we are looking forward to seeing your video. Okay, so that concludes our leader spotlight today. So feel free to share your feedback with us for this session at bit.ly/WIL leader spotlight feedback. Okay. Once again, thank you, Ms Goh Jin See, for the inspiring sharing. Thank you to Tanu, Rania, and Vivian for being the interviewers, and thank you to all future leaders that watching us since the first session until today. So thank you so much, everyone. Good luck if you are joining the grand competition, and see you all again in the future program. Bye.